Hello students, welcoming you all in the physics arena by Nitish sir. Students, today we are going to learn about the second part of the electricity that is known as the static electricity. So first of all we will know what do you mean by the static electricity, because we have to learn here a lots of things about the electricity. So how it come in existence, what do you mean by the static electricity, and what are its behavior. Static means that something which is at rest. It means that if there is no change in position takes place, then it is said to be the static or in rest condition. Students, what do you mean by electricity? Electricity means that is a flow of charges or flow of current. Okay, so flow of current. If there is flow of current takes place, then we can say that there is a setup of electricity takes place. So student, what do you mean by charges and what do you mean by electricity? So in order to discuss, because we must know what do you mean by the charges, then we can say that charge can be defined as, how we can define charge? So because we are knowing that the positive and negative charge, so these are the types of the charges. We have to know what do you mean by the charges. So charges is the, or charge can be defined as, how we can define charge? So charge can be defined as the number of electrons possessed by a substance. If we are saying that if a particle is having some certain number of the electron possessed by it, then we can say that it is charge. So charge is given by the expression that is Q is equals to, small q is notification of the charge, is equals to N for the number and E for the electron. Okay, so we can say that the charge is nothing but that is the number of electron possessed by a body. If a body is having 5 number of electron, and as we are knowing that the value of one electron is equals to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb charges. Okay students, so charge is nothing but that is a number of electron, or it is also, in one word we can say that it is a fundamental behavior of a particle. So charge can be also defined as, or we can define as, it is the fundamental behavior. It is the fundamental means basic behavior. It is the fundamental behavior of the particle. Okay students, so how much amount of the electrons possessed by a particle is the fundamental behavior of the particle, and that is known as a charge. If any particle is having, okay, so how the charge is subcategorized into the different parts. So charges, here I have written charges. So charges are subcategorized in two parts. What are those? Yes. One is positive charge, and the next one is negative charge. So which type of the particle we are saying that it is a positive charge, and which kind of the particle we are saying that negative charge? Students, if any of the material is having some number of electrons, then it is said to be the charged particle. Okay students, so positive charge means that having a material which is having the less number of electron. If any material which is having the less number of the electron is said to be the positive charge, whereas a material which is having sufficient number of number of electron is said to be the is said to be the negatively charged particles or negatively charged ions. Okay students, and so what now, as we have learned here what do you mean by the charge, now we are turning towards the electricity. What do you mean by electricity? Okay, or electric current. As we are knowing that electricity is nothing but that is a flow of electric current from one place to the another place. Electricity means that it is a form of energy. Okay, so electricity means that the flow of electric current from one place to another place, and it is called electricity. Students, why electricity come in existence? What is the need of, or what is the purpose of the electricity? In our daily life, we are willing to glow some bulb, run a fan, use a geyser, and also willing to use AC, means air condition or cooler. So in order to operate those electrical devices, we are requiring some amount of electric current. So that's why electric current come in existence, or electricity come in existence to glow or run such type of the equipments. So what do you mean by electric current? Here I am going to give you the definition about the electric current. What do you mean by the electric current? Students, then we will learn about the static behavior of the electric current. Okay, so what do you mean by the electric current? It is defined as the rate of flow of charges, the rate of flow of charges in an electric circuit is called electric current. So students, in order to give its expression, that electric current is given by I, and it is equals to flow of charges in per unit of time. Okay, so I is equals to Q by T. Students, now we are going to learn what do you mean by the static electricity. Static means something which is at rest. Students, you can see that you have already learned about these. Here I am writing static electricity. What do you mean by the static electricity? Students, you can see here that if any charge is at rest, so as it is said to be the charge, so it will have some amount of electron. Okay, so if any particle will have some amount of charges, so it will exhibits some amount of property like attraction or repulsion. Okay, it means that a substance which acquires some attractive property is said to be the charged particle. It means that if any particle or any substance is having some electrons, and also can attract other particle or substances, is that type of the substance or that type of the particle is called that the electrified. Electrified means when something is related to the charges, it is said to be the electrified or charged particle. It means that if any particle or a substance which is having the electrons, it is said to be the charged particle. So if any particle is charged, then only it can attract or repel of the other particle. Students, whenever an object made up of a substance like plastic, glass and ebonite which is rubbed on with the wool. Let us suppose that if we are having a glass rod, okay, so here what we are going to do, if we are having this let us consider a glass rod. This is a glass rod, and here this glass rod is made up of with the glass. So if whenever a glass rod, a plastic material or a ebonite material is rubbed onto a wool, here it is wool, some amount of wool is taken, okay. If a glass rod or ebonite rod or a plastic rod, when it is subjected to the rubbing with a wool, so there is a agitation of the charges takes place due to the friction. Here what I have giving as a glance, when glass rod is rubbed on wool, due to friction, charges establish onto the glass rod. It means that glass rod becomes electrified. Okay students, whenever any material, you can also see in your daily life, if you are having some small pieces of paper which is put onto a particular surface, and if you rub a comb in your hairs, if you are having an arrangement, a comb and some small pieces of the paper, if you rub the comb onto your hair and start to come in contact with the piece of paper, then all the piece of papers come and stick with the comb. Why? Because that comb, at that time the comb becomes electrified or get charged. So this behavior, the behavior of attracting the charges, is said to be the attractive forces, with only causes due to the attractive forces. It means that how we can define the force of attraction or repulsion. So students, here you can see that what is written here inside of your book, that the kinds of the electric charges, that is the like charges repel and unlike charges attract. It means that if we can also know that there may be the several combination of the charges takes place. What kind of the charges, what may be the combination? So here you can see that what I am going to give you the glance, that a charges may be of positive charge, a charges may be of negative charge. Q means charge, okay. So if a positive charge come in contact with the another positive charge, so the behavior will be same. So the two same charges will repel to each other, okay. And when a positive charge come in contact, when a negative charge come into the contact of positive charge, here the behavior of both the charges are different, so here it will be attraction takes place, okay students. So if there are the same charges, there will be, or like charges, there will be a repulsion takes place, and if there will be different charges, we can achieve the attraction. So here it is written that there are two kinds of the electric charges. We can call them positive and negative charges. The existence of these charges can be demonstrated by the following experiment, okay. Students, here one experiment is given here, so I'm not going to recite all the things which is written here. With the help of the diagram, I'm going to elaborate. Students, you can see that here is an arrangement which is taken. There is a stand which is clamped onto a wooden sheet, okay, onto this clamp, with the help of a thread, a glass rod is connected, okay students. Here a glass rod is connected. So if this glass rod is already charged, what is written here, take a glass rod A and rub it with the silk to make it charge. Now we are having this glass rod which is tied with the thread, it is already charged by rubbing onto the silk. Now it suspend it to the thread with the help of thread to the stand. And now again a different rod which is taken into our hand is come into the contact of this glass rod A. Okay, if the rod which is kept in hand is B and it is come into the contact of which is already charged rod, that is A. Okay, so what you will feel, rub it also with the silk. Now this the glass rod which is taken in hand is also subjected to the rubbing onto the wool. Now both the rods are charged. So when both the rods are charged and when both are come in contact, you will see that then it is rod A is also charged, rod A is also charged and rod B is also charged. How it is charged? Because due to the rubbing onto the wool. When both the rods are charged, then the light particle will take place, and as we are knowing that when there is a light particle, there is a repulsion takes place. You can see here repulsion is written here. It means that the rod A, glass rod A and glass rod B both are charged with the same particle, and when there are the light particles, there is a repulsion takes place. Whereas in the next condition, you can see here the same glass rod which is rubbed with the silk is tied with the help of thread and also is connected to the stand. Okay, now here you can see that this glass rod is either charged or uncharged, but the another rod which is kept into the hand, let us suppose that this is charged and this is uncharged. So if there is huge amount of charge and there is no amount of or a very less amount of the charge is there, so here the different type of the behavior, it is charged, it is uncharged. So if there is a difference in the charges takes place, it means that there's a difference in the charges, means that there's a force of attraction takes place, and both the charges or both the ebonite rod or the rubber rods will get attracted toward each other. It means that if the charges are like, then there is a force of repulsion takes place, and if the charges are unlike, then the force of attraction will takes place in these conditions. Okay students, so here till here we have learned what is a force of attraction and what is a force of repulsion with the help of the charge condition of a material. Now students, we have to learn the next topic, that is a conservation of charges. What do you mean by conservation of charges? Conservation means that there is no loss in the charges takes place. So here you can see that before rubbing the two objects, each object are uncharged. It means that if we are having the two objects and we are not going to make in contact, it means that there is no generation of the charges will takes place. Okay, so before rubbing the two objects, each object is uncharged, so that the net charge is 0, means the sum of both the charges on the object will be 0. Now when the two objects are rubbed together, both are charged equally, but the charges on them are opposite kind. Okay, means first material will also have the different charging property and the other may have the different charge property. Thus the total charge of the subject before and after rubbing remains same. It means that the charges acquired by the particle before rubbing and after rubbing, if it is same, then we can say that this is a conservation of energy. Okay students, so what I have said here, that when the particle is not subjected to the rubbing, it is uncharged. Okay, it is uncharged. Okay, and after rubbing it is charged, but it is not possible that both the charges are charged with the same behavior. Okay, same particles. Okay, means positive or negative. It might be possible positive negative positive, whatever be the combination. Okay, so you can see that here also the sum of the charges is 0 and here also the sum of the charges being 0. So it means that if there is no change in the charge takes place before and after of the rubbing of a material, then it is said to be the conservation of charges. Okay students, so the charges can be generated onto the basis or with the help of the two type of the, that is a conduction and induction. Conduction means that the flow of charges. What do you mean by conductor and what do you mean by insulator? So students, as you can see here, that the conductor and insulator is written here. Okay, so conductor is a type of material. Okay, I'm not going to recite line by line, but I'm going to give it a glance. Conductor is a material which is having the property of flow of charges. Means any substance, any material which is having the property of flow of charges, then it is said to be the conductor. What I have said here, students, any material, any substance which is having the property of flow of charges is said to be the conductor, whereas any material which do not have the property of flow of charges is said to be the insulator. So we can also know that metals like iron, brass, steel, mercury, carbon and human body are subjected to be the conductor because it is having some amount of charges, whereas wood, paper, glass, ebonite, mica, wax, wool, okay, so and pure water are said to be the those things which does not allow the flow of charges is said to be the insulator. Okay, it means that these are not allowing the flow of current. So a material which allows the flow of current called conductor, a material which does not allow the flow of current is said to be the insulator. So what are the various methods to charge a conductor? Here it is mentioned that the methods of charging a conductor. Students, already we have learned a material can be charged with the help of rubbing onto the wool. It means that the one method is by rubbing, okay, that is called conduction, and the another method is induction. So what do you mean by conduction and what do you mean by induction? Now we are going to learn. Okay, so let's start with the methods. So students, charging, now what we are going to do, how we can charge a material with the help of the different means. So in order to charge a conductor, here it is written that a conductor can be charged in the following methods, that by the conduction and by the induction. So how we will discuss? So let's start with the first method, that is the charging of a conductor by conduction. Okay students, in this experiment you can see that here the two glass rods are taken. Okay, here a positively charged glass rod is taken which is come into the contact with the metal rod. Okay, and that metal rod is hanged onto the or connected with the insulating stand. It means that there is no charge transfer takes place between the metal rod and this stand. Okay students, so what we have to observe here, that when a glass rod B which is positively charged is come into the contact with the metal rod, as we are knowing that it is positively charged. Positive charge means deficient electron or less electron. Positive charge means which is having a material which is having the less number of electron is called positively charged. And whereas metal rod, and as we are knowing that the metal rod is a good conductor, so it will have huge amount of charges. So here it is less charge and it is having the sufficient electrons. Okay, so here deficiency of electron and here sufficiency of the electron. So when a glass rod B is who is positively charged come into the contact of the metal rod which is having the huge amount of the electrons, then here there is a transferring of the charges takes place. Okay, so students, you can see that when a glass rod B is touched with glass rod A, then you can see that due to the loss of the electron from A into B, okay, it also acquires some positive charge because some amount of electron is reached to B. Okay, So here some amount of positive charge also acquired by this metal. So it may be noted that then an insulator cannot be charged by the conduction, but because insulator does not have any amount of the charges. So when we can also see that from here we can observe that the charges are get transferred due to the come in contact, means by the conduction from one place to the another place, and the material which was having the sufficient amount of electron, now it is positively charged. Okay students, so now we are turning towards the next method of charging of a conductor, that is a induction. How we can induce some amount of current? Induction means that induced means to generate. Okay, so students, whenever a glass rod or whenever a rod which is at rest, there was no charges. At rest there was no charges. Okay, so here it is written that in this method the conductor to be charged is not touched with any charged body. It means that in the first method we have taken a less electron material which is come into the contact of a charged particle, that is a metal. But now in this method, both here the conductor is to be charged is not touched with the charged body, means we are not going to take in contact of any charged particle, but it is kept nearby a charged body. You can see students, in the first method what we have learned, if this was a pen, black pen, which was in starting it was less charged, and now it is come into the contact of the another pen which is completely charged. So with the contact, the amount of current flows takes place or charges takes place. So this also black pen is also get charged. But in this condition, what we are going to do, we are having one pen which is not charged, and it is also a charged particle, but both are not kept in contact. In this condition you can see that, but it is kept near the charged body. This pen is not charged but is come near, not in contact but near by this pen which is already charged. So you can see that the end of the conductor nearer to the charged body acquires a charge opposite to the charge of the charged body. Here it is having negatively charged, so it will acquire some amount of charges as a positive charge, while the other end of the far charged body acquire the similar charge. If it is negative, it is positive, so it will be positive, and the other terminal of this pen will be positive. It means that whenever an uncharged substance come not in contact but in the neighborhood of a charged particle, then there is a flow of charges takes place due to the acquirance of the different polarity, means negative, positive at the adjacent terminal. So okay students, so here what we have realized that here the flow of charges takes place without the conduction, only due to the different polarity. So it is called induction. It means that one point was having some charges, and due to that property, if we generate some amount of charges, this is called that the induction. And in this method we can also charge, with the help of this method we can also charge a particle with the induction method. So now we have to learn electroscope. What do you mean by the electroscope? So here it is written, students, here it is written the description about the electroscope. What do you mean by the electroscope and what is its application and how it works? So let's start. First of all, we will know what do you mean by the electroscope. An electroscope is a device, means that electroscope is a device which is used to detect the presence and nature of the charge on a body. It means that a type of device which is used to check whether a body is charged or uncharged and what type of the charge it is acquiring can be done with the help of electroscope. Okay, so an electroscope is a device which is used to detect the presence of charge and nature of the charge on a body. In the other words, it is used to find whether a body is charged or uncharged. Okay, then whether it carries the positive charge or negative charge. First we will calculate either a body is charged or uncharged, and if it is charged then we will calculate whether the body carries the positive charge or negative charge. That is the nature of the charge. So basically there are the two types of the electroscope. The first one is the, here what is written, there are the two types of the electroscope: pitch ball electroscope and gold leaf electroscope. Students, gold leaf electroscope will be also discussed in class 12th when you will be grow. So here both of the electroscopes are given. So one by one I am going to give you the glance. What do you mean by the, because only the construction is given, only the construction you have to study, not the experiment based on these two experiment or these two electroscope. Okay, because those two topics are reduced from the syllabus. So students, we have to know what do you mean by the pitch ball electroscope and also gold leaf electroscope, because as I have said that electroscope is a device which is used to check whether a body is charged or uncharged. So what do you mean by the pitch ball electroscope? Pitch ball electroscope consists of a small pitch ball suspended by a dry silk thread. Okay, here there also an arrangement is taken, that is a stand, insulated stand, okay, through which a silk thread, the silk thread is dry, not wet. If it will be wet, so it will have some amount of charge. So here the silk thread is also dry, through which a pitch ball, a small spherical ball is connected to it. Okay. Okay, so in this experiment how we will calculate whether a body is charged or uncharged. So bring the body near to the pitch ball. If we just brought another body nearby the pitch ball without touching it, without any contact, if the pitch ball moves towards the body, it means that if the motion of the pitch ball takes place due to the neighborhood of the other object, then body is charged. It means that that body is said to be the charge. But if the pitch ball remains stationary, it means that if there is no movement takes place in the pitch ball, then we can say that the body is uncharged. Okay students, so this was the pitch ball electroscope. Electroscope means a device which is used to whether a body is charged or uncharged. Whereas in gold leaf experiment, you can see here in the gold leaf experiment, gold leaf means here we are using a foil of gold. Here we are using a foil of gold. So in this experiment, you can see here the diagram. This, that is a 8.0, shows that a gold leaf electroscope, it consists the two gold or aluminium leaf hanging from a brass rod having a brass disc at its upper end. Students, you can see here an arrangement into which a glass case is taken. It means that is a glass vessel is taken, which is airtight. There is no air within that glass case. Okay, and the top of that a brass disc is connected. Okay, and here also an insulating plug, means that is a cork is made. Why cork is made? Because there is there to avoid the entrance of the air. It consists the two gold or aluminium leaves hanging from a brass rod here, through which the two, either that is a gold foil or aluminium foil, are connected. Okay, the rod passing through an ebonite cork. Here ebonite cork is used for the insulation. Okay, fitted in the mouth of the glass bottle or the glass vessel. The glass bottle has tin foil on its side near its bottom. Okay, here a metallic foil is connected to the bottle at its bottom. Okay students, okay, so here the glass bottle protected the gold leaf from the effect of air. Here this glass bottle, because the glass insulates the air outside from the surrounding, so the glass bottle protect the gold leaf from the effect of air and wind. Okay students, so you can check now with the help of gold leaf experiment. We are going to check whether a body is charged or uncharged. So in order to test whether a body is charged or uncharged, Bring a body and touch it with the brass disc. In the pitchball experiment, which already I have given you the idea, in the pitchball experiment, there will be no contact takes place between the pitchball and the object. But in the gold foil experiment or gold leaf experiment, now what we are going to do, we are going to brought a body in contact with the brass disc. Okay, here we are going to touch this pen like this. If we have to calculate whether this pen is charged or uncharged, so we are going to touch this pen with the brass disc. Okay students, so bring the body and touch it with the brass disc of the gold leaf electroscope. If the leaf diverges, it means that the leaf which is kept inside of the glass case start to vibrate or diverge, then we can say that the body is charged. It means that if there is any movement takes place in the gold leaf, then we can say that the body which is come in contact with the glass, that the brass disc is charged. But if the leaves do not diverge, it means that there is no motion takes place in the gold leaf, then we can say that the body is uncharged. Okay students, so these are the two various methods for calculation or for the correction of whether a body is charged or uncharged. So such type of the device is said to be the electroscope, and which is subcategorized as a gold pitch electroscope and the gold leaf electroscope. Okay students, next topic is lightning. What do you mean by lightning? Actually, lightning and thunderstorming is a natural phenomenon. Okay, so students, during a thunderstorm, when a charged cloud passes over the earth, okay, it means that the clouds which also causes the rain and also having some amount of charges and passes over the earth, it acquires an opposite charge by the induction. Means already we have learned the generation of the charges with the conduction and induction. Okay, so a spark may occur between the two oppositively charged cloud. Means if the earth is having some also amount of charge and also the cloud is having some amount of charge, and both are of the opposite charge or polarity, so there is a spark takes place, and this spark is called lightning. So if someone is asking what do you mean by lightning, then beta you can say that a spark which may occur due to the two oppositively charged clouds, okay, that one is earth and another is cloud, then such type of the spark is said to be the lightning. What may be the lightning? What may be the effect of the lightning takes place in our daily life, or sometimes it happens. So the effect of the lightning on the object is very dangerous and serious, because it is having huge amount of charges, so it will be very dangerous for human being. So it can kill human and animals. It means that when huge amount of charges, means electricity flows, then it may cause some injurious or very dangerous impact onto the human body. So what will be the safety measure? What will be the safety measure which we have to follow during the lightning? During the thunderstorm, it is not advised to stand under a tree or a tall building. Why? Because whenever there is a huge amount of current will fall, spark will fall, it might affect our body and it come to our body and we may got burned. Okay students, so what are the other causes? On hearing, you can see here, on hearing a thunder, rush to safe place and such a low house or building. Means whenever there is any thunder or any spark takes place, we must try to move towards a low height building or a safe place. And also, if you are traveling by a car or a bus, you are safe inside. It means that if you are sitting inside of any hollow shaped car or any bus, then you are safe at that time, because no charges can come to the hollow shape. Okay, so keep the windows and doors of the vehicle closed, and do not carry an umbrella over your head, because if walking in an open ground, okay, if you are in an open ground and that time if charge is coming, so please don't carry the umbrella. And last point which I am going to elaborate, that if there artery around you, take shelter under a shorter tree, not the bigger tree, because the bigger tree will have some amount of charges, and when there will be charges, then it might be possible that the higher charges come to the smaller charges and it connect a circuit and you may get affected with the thunderstorm and lightning. Okay students, so these were the different impact, or we can say that the effect from the lightning. So now one topic was remaining, the last topic of this chapter, that was lightning conductor. What do you mean by the lightning conductor? A lightning conductor is a device which is used to protect the building from the being damaged due to the lightning. It means that a conductor, a device which is used to avoid the damaging from the lightning is said to be the lightning conductor. And how it works and how it can be constructed. A lightning conductor, you can see here, a lightning conductor is a long copper rod, means long metallic rod with a sharp point or spikes projected above the top of the building. If we are having a conducting material like a copper is a conducting material with the sharp points, okay, like trishul, okay, sharp points or spikes above the top of the building. If we put it onto the top of the building and the lower end of this rod is connected to the copper plate buried deep into the ground. If we are having a copper rod which is kept onto the topmost surface of the building and its lower terminal is connected into the deep of the earth, then whatever be the amount of excess current or excess charges from the cloud will be taken with the help of these spikes of the copper material, and also it will sink into the ground and there will be no excessive amount of current will come to your house and you will be safe. So this is the lightning conductor. With the help of that we could be safe in our house under the action of lightning and thunderstorming. Okay students, so hopefully you all have got the points whatever I have delivered, and soon I will send you the exercises. Okay, hopefully you all are learning. Stay safe and be happy. Have a good day.